My name's Girard. I'm an urban forester, so that means I work usually in cities or towns, working in the city landscape. Uh, I work for the Department of Conservation and Recreation for the state of Massachusetts. And I'm working in Pittsfield right now, heading up the Greening the Gateway Cities program for the state of Massachusetts.
Are there still opportunities for people to get trees?
There are, but I would encourage them to call quickly. You can go on the maurbancanopy.org website and click on Pittsfield. It'll show you the planting area that the state has designated that we can plant in. And if you're within that area, call the number that's associated with that, and we'll be in touch with you and set up a site visit. It's usually how the program gets started. So basically what we're trying to do as urban foresters is trying to site what they call the right tree in the right place. We're trying to get a higher canopy for the city for more shade, heating and cooling, keep heating and cooling costs down. And we're also trying to fit the right tree into the right site, whether it's shade, sun, whether you're trying to get a wind block or if you're planting under the wires. We have trees. We have about 40 or 50 trees that we work with, and we have something to fit every niche. So that's what my job is, to pick out the correct tree and work with the homeowner to get something they like that'll fit into their plan.
So tell me about that. That's very interesting. The under the wire tree. So does that have a certain height cap? How does that work?
Yeah, it's about 30 feet. It's about the highest, depending on which city. Actually, the utility companies have come up with selections that they would approve for underwires, and we've done our own research and have some others also. So we have a pretty good selection, and also you're looking for trees that can withstand the salt tolerance in the winter from plowing, and so they have to be pretty hardy trees to be right on the road. So knowing your species is really the key to that.
Can you give us
That's where we come in.
an example of what kind of tree that would be?
Well, underwire trees, we have Macchia amurensis. Common name is Macchia. There's no real common name. It's in the legume family. So it fixes nitrogen, it puts nitrogen back into the soil, which will help other plants grow and contribute to the soil. We have several flowering varieties, shadbush, amelanchier, some crabapple varieties, hawthorns that do well in that kind of situation.
Cool.
And for larger trees where there's no wires, I like to use white oak. It's a native, very tolerant of city landscapes. There's another one we've been using quite a bit lately is Kentucky coffee tree. It's a little south of us normally, but it does grow in this area and does quite well in that treescape also.
Neat. What would be the tree that's planted the most here since you started this project in Pittsfield?
Well, one of my goals and the goals of the program especially is to get a diversity of tree plantings, so we don't end up with the same situation where we've had with the Asian longhorn beetle and the emerald ash borer, wiping out a whole species, taking out a good percentage of the city. So we're trying to keep the percentages of each species pretty low, each genus pretty low. And we've done a pretty good job of that throughout the state.